So yes, I think this time we'll be able to start.
Alright.
Alright, I think you have problem. That's why. Terbaik.
We survived the baby boomer.
Okay.
Hardly we can say
we are
Malaysia
live.
boleh.
Malaysia boleh.
Boleh cakap lah, boleh.
Well done, Sean. Sorry.
All right, sorry everyone. Let's carry on.
So are we live now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start again.
Exactly the same.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining us. We are now live. In case you're wondering what's the wait, well, we're here now. So no need to ask that question anymore. Okay, so welcome to Comedy in English, an online stand-up comedy show, episode July. As you all may know, this is a stand-up comedy using a platform using English. And in our show, we will have 3 sessions. Session number 1 is for open micer. We have 4 open micer this time. And these guys are comedians who just started their career in comedy. So usually they have new materials. So please be nice. All right. And then after open micers, we are going to have openers. So these are more seasoned comedians. And so this evening we have 3 open micers. Yeah. And they have roughly more time than the open micers. So open micers have 5 out of 7. Openers 7 to 10. And to close this evening, we have 2 headliners. Number 1 is the wonderful, the only bearded white guy in our room, as you can see, right? So obviously he's white, even though he's tanned. So he's a Belgian. His name is Alex Fabry. Give it up for Alex Fabry, ladies and gentlemen. Right? He is the only white guy I know whose chest hair is not up to his neck. So he's well trimmed. So, and he's going to be our first headliner. Our second headliner is the one and only Sarah Peng, all the way from Singapore. There you go. All right. I hope you all enjoying this show during lockdown, because what else can you do? Everywhere else is like totally banned. So we're going to try our best to entertain you. Now, my name is Reggie. I'm your host, and allow me to remind you that we are going to have a voting system. So after each session, open micer, opener, you will be given the opportunity to vote for your favorite comedian, all right? And the one with the most votes will basically become the most favorite of this evening. And the rest, try again harder next time. Yay! That's what my parents say. Now, we are going to start the show. Let me remind you a bit about the rule. We are going to try something a bit different this evening. You can unmute yourself. In fact, we will appreciate it if you unmute yourself so you, the comedians can hear your laughter, right? So we can feel as if there is an interaction rather than, you know, looking like a weirdo talking to a monitor just by ourselves in our room. So by having your laughter, it is, you know, we feel as if we are talking to a fellow human being. Unless if you have something noisy behind you, then please don't. All right. If you have like a mating cat, and you have a goat in your room, all right, there's a natural disaster outside your room, then please mute yourself. And also turning your video on is optional. Yeah, it's free. Now, we are going to go forward with this evening by having our open micer. Our first open micer comes all the way from United States. So basically, it's 7:30 a.m. in where this come from. So thank you very much for joining us. She's not American. She's actually Indonesian living in the US. As you can see, yeah, she's a smart one because she knows how to get a green card. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Jumai.
Hey. Yay. So, hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning from Midwest US. My name is Jumai. Today, I'm going to talk about a wonderful, happy topic about dead and ghosts. So, if you want to know culture or work ethics of a certain country or so. For instance, Chinese ghosts act like Chinese people. They work hard. Chinese people work hard. You know, especially, Indonesia and Asia, if they have business, they open from sun up until sundown, hardly taking any day off, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days off from Chinese New Year, that's it. So it's the Chinese ghosts. They work hard almost all year. The only time they take day off are on Hungry Ghost Festival. Hungry Ghost Festival is the time when hell gates are open and the ghosts can go down to earth and see the living families or the living relatives. And that time, the living relatives have to put some food offering, food and drinks. And as you can see, Chinese ghosts like Chinese people, they're hungry, even they're dead, they're still hungry. They want more, get enough. And the Chinese people, that's the only time they take a trip break. After all, if you can see also, Chinese people likes fortune, likes to have everything big, like wealth, and also Chinese people tends to be supposedly good at investing and money saving. Well, at least in my family case. My dad always told me, oh, your late grandfather is so great at money saving, great at investment. Kind of makes me question though, because when my grandfather passed away, paper effigies in the shape of beautiful big mansion, 4 maids, a brand new Mercedes, a brand new jet plane, and billions and billions of hell dollar. And I say billions, I mean literally every paper is printed $1 billion. There's 9 zeros and billions of them. And we print them in about an hour. That costs a lot of money, real money. Yet every year, we still have to burn more money, more hell money. If my grandfather, and all Chinese people are so great at investing, why do we need to do it every year? Why didn't they invest that money, that first billion? That's what we do in real life. But no, they need it every year. And so I don't know why, even though they're supposed to be great investors. And you know how we say that the ghost should be resting in peace, things like that? Well, not for Chinese. Ghosts, the white people. If you don't know, yes, I'm in America because I have an American husband, like Reggie said. I married a white American, a white man. So, I'm sorry, I just read the chat. My internet is not so great. I'm so sorry for that. So anyway, well, see, it's unlike the Chinese internet. Anyway, so I live near a cemetery. I drove by the cemetery at night, and I noticed there's a lot of. Yes, Alex, I agree. It is shit. Thank you.
All right.
No, it's not part of the act. I don't know what's going on with my wifey. I really don't know. Maybe I live near a cemetery and the ghost is not happy because I'm about to talk shit about it. I live near a cemetery, and I noticed each of the grave, not each, a lot of the grave has this solar panel, and on Christmas they also have Christmas tree full with the lights and ornaments. Makes me wonder why. And I wonder why. So I asked the groundskeeper why they have the solar panel lantern on the tombstones. And the groundskeeper, with all seriousness, told me, "Oh, that's because the living relatives are afraid that the ghost, the spirit, the dead family might be afraid of dark and afraid of being lonely. You're a ghost." And just rest in peace is something that's so foreign because yes, I guess because I get angry. The other day, my mother-in-law asked me to accompany her to her mom's grave. I did, and she said, "Yeah, I want to go to my mom's grave. I want to pray for her so she can rest." We Chinese, we don't have. When I was a kid, I used to see my dad before opening up his shop would pray for the family altar for the ancestor. Dad said, "Well, we're praying for the ancestor to protect us from the harm and bless us with a lot of fortune." See, Chinese ghosts can't even rest. There's no rest in peace. They have to work hard to protect the living. White people, when they die, they get to rest. And you know who's the most hardworking ghost of them all? Javanese. Yes, ghosts from Java. Ghosts ask for offering of food and beverage after they die. Japanese ghosts, they don't ask a lot. They ask for some flowers and water, just water, plain water, and not even a whole flower, petals of flower. That's it. And yet, the living people ask a lot from them. The living people will go to the cemetery, to graves, stay all night and pray for the ghosts and the spirits to be the lottery number, winning lottery number. And the living didn't care. It's a strangers. And then they have to work hard to earn that little petals of flowers and water. When I was in Indonesia, when I was living in Indonesia, I kind of moved a lot from house to house. And almost every house I lived in, the neighbors always told me, "Oh, your house is haunted." Okay. So every house I live in is haunted. I lived in Bali, I lived in Surabaya, I lived in other cities. They all told me that. Okay. How many ghosts are there in Java, in Bali? And when I was working in one of the biggest newspaper company in Indonesia, Java Post, newspaper company is 24 hours busy. And yet at daytime, they told me, "Oh, did you know our office is haunted by a woman ghost?" Wow, Javanese ghosts work so hard. They have to haunt all the houses, all the buildings. And then not only they have to work at night to haunt you, they work overtime at daytime. I mean, wow. I can just imagine, up there in the ether, there are three ghosts, the group of ghosts, the white people ghosts, Chinese ghosts, and the Japanese ghosts. The white people ghosts, like you imagine like on TVs, old men drinking tea, relaxing. That's what the white people ghosts are doing. They're relaxing, resting in peace, watching their living relatives smiling. The Chinese ghosts, meanwhile, working hard in the mansion, trying to protect the family every day, trying to bless them every day. The maids cleaning their hell mansion or their heaven mansion. And there's this Japanese ghost sitting on the roadside, eating flower petals and drinking plain water. And there are so many kind of ghosts in Java. One of the ghosts is called Tuyul. Tuyul is a a ghost that in the form of small kids. This is the height of how hardworking Japanese is. Tuyul's job is to steal money from other people. That's the height. I mean, I don't know that it can't. It's hardworking in the height because not only is child labor, but that is a dead soul from small children. Even dead children are being forced to work. So if anybody ever said Japanese are lazy, you can say no, they're not. Even their ghosts works harder than any all of you. Thank you very much. I'm Jumai from Midwest America. Thank you.
Give it up for Juma, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, she opens up my mind. Now I know that the internet connection in US is not as good as it seems, right? So that what happens if you don't censor porn, right? The internet is lacking. Look at my country. Yeah, it's fast like now because porn is censored. Instead, people are browsing for VPN. But at least, yay. Juma is trying out her new material and her new modem too, apparently, as we can see the result. Right. But thank you very much for trying out your new material, Juma. Now, your next comedian, boys and girls, she is totally new. This is her first time and she properly dressed up for this fine evening, as you can see in a moment soon. So please give it up for your first timer, our second open micer, Gloria Felicia.
Hi, everyone. I would like to invite you to unmute your mic, first of all, please. Because I didn't, because I didn't dress up like this for nothing, okay? I would rather be in my pajamas and eat some sushi and burgers and bobas, okay? So please make it worth it. Thank you. Anyways, my name is Gloria, as you already know, as Reggie told you. When I was 5, my mom tested my IQ. The result was surprisingly high. I mean, like I'm good with numbers and math, like most Asians, but not in a rocket science way, more in like, you know, like knowing how to count M&M without opening the package way. I was one talkative kid. Like I would mostly talk to myself and the grass. It turned out though that I actually had ADHD. Not surprising, right? I don't need drugs to get high. I can get high on my own. Every 5 seconds, my brain would go like, squirrel! And then it repeats again, squirrel! And that's why I'm kind of dysfunctional adult now. One time though, you know, like, you know, other kids, they like to play soccer and like eat cotton candies in the playground. And in my case, I would just like stare at the wall and count my imaginary squirrels. So one time I was playing in a playground and one kid went, don't you know, I have a new pair of goggles. And the other kid went, don't you know, I have a new Star Wars Lego set. And I went, don't you know, my mom earns more than my dad. Hey, where did everyone go? Where did everyone go? Oh, squirrel. So yeah, there goes my stories, right? My best friends were mostly squirrels. I had no friends until I met this girl. Her name was Tina. And we were riding the bikes together from the morning. All of a sudden, the day got really dark, like really, really dark. And I finally asked her, Tina, where are we going? And she said, oh, I'm I'm just following this ice cream man. Yes, turned out that we had been following him for 5 hours straight. Yeah, and our parents were freaking out. I didn't know where I was. It turned out she had ADHD too. No wonder we clicked so well. I knew we had something in common together. The next week after that, Tina and I, we were hanging out in my house and we were just having so much fun staring at the wall for 5 hours straight and chasing squirrels together. Anyways, my mom knew, right? Like I have like this weirdly high like IQ. So she put me in the worst private school possible to lower my IQ. There's this one kid that came to my school. He just moved from a public school next door and everything looked like Disney to him all of a sudden, right? Like, oh, your school has a AC? Oh, your school has like automatic like flushing in your toilets? You don't have to squat to shit or like use gayung? Whoa, everything is automatic. Your teachers don't beat you up here? They're not pedophile? How fun! So yeah, I guess the worst private school is still way better than the best of the best public school. That's why corruptors sent their kids to my school because they can pay for their kids to graduate. Yeah.
Oh God.
Money matters, guys. Money matters. Anyways, right? Having ADHD though can be quite awesome, right? If you don't believe me, I get some free episodes of hyperfocus sometimes. Like I can draw for like 5 hours straight. My parents sometimes forget they have a kid. All they need were some crayons. They don't need to hire nannies. They can buy themselves a house. They just saving. They don't need nannies, right? So they would go like one time, just want to fight, right? Hey kid, we just want to fight, okay? Here's some crayons. And the other time they just want to fuck. Here's some crayon, kid. And the other time again, they want to go on vacation. They just be like, here's some crayon, kid. And here's your grandma's number, okay? Don't forget, okay? If you run out of crayons, call your grandma. Don't call us, okay? We'll see you when you're 30. Bye.
Oh, that's it. That's the end. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Gloria, Felicia, give it up. That was her first time ever. That was her first time ever doing stand-up comedy. Yay!
Wow, good job.
Woo! Wow.
Thank God I wasn't distracted.
You were this close of the squirrels, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, you look very confident. You did not look nervous at all. Most likely, because you did not have enough focus to go there. So yeah, it's just a string. Oh.
That sounds about right. Sounds about
Okay.
right.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Good job. And we're looking forward to have you next time. I mean, I'm sure you still have plenty of story with you. All right. If you can doodle for 5 hours, you can do stand-up comedy for 6 hours and more with Tina and the squirrels. Now,
The audience will be the ones distracted though. For 6 hours. I need lots of crayons.
all right, we shall proceed. That was a great for first timer. Our next comedian now. Oh, by the way, Gloria is from Bali, right? So we have someone from United States and Bali, and now we have somebody from Medan. It's all over the globe, boys and girls. Now, after two ladies, this next comedian is a wonderful boy. He's very good looking in his own way. Don't judge. And tonight he's going to try his new material. So please give a warm welcome all the way from Medan, and please don't laugh on his dialect, Maurice.
Yay!
Yeah, hello. Good night. My name is Maurice Christian. I think you guys can guess my religion, right? Yeah, my religion is Buddhist. Actually, I am an atheist. But it's like you guys don't seem believe that I am atheist. Now I will swear to God that I don't believe in God. Yeah, actually, I become atheist not because I don't believe in God. I just become atheist because I am too lazy to pray. So today story that I want to bring is come from my NCT, which is Chinese culture, religious Chinese culture. I think it's, I don't want to say it's general, but I want to say it's Chinese in Medan. Yeah, first, Chinese people had many celebration, wedding celebration, funeral celebration, birth, and even death celebration. And Chinese spend more at that at funeral and death celebration, which is we make fake gold from paper to burn, to send to our grandparents or parents in the heaven. And that's why Chinese people like money more than their soul. Okay, that's why Chinese people don't like work from 9 to 5 because they time out for work and they cannot go to party. And then that's why they just start their own business and work for 24 hours to 7 days. And even in Chinese, we had a god of bless, a god of fortune. That's how Chinese love money. Okay, so the second is, did you know that in Chinese culture, you cannot pointing the moon? You are not allowed to pointing the moon. Some of you may wondering why. Don't ask me. I'm not your great grandparents. I don't know either. But I grow up by following those rules. I'm not pointing the moon. But recently, I just do something random search at Google that I found out that actually China already taking a seat at the moon in 2007. They not pointing the moon, but take a seat at the moon. My 23 years dedicate was waste. From now on, even I eating, I will pointing the moon. Even I take a shit, I'm pointing the moon. And even I fart, I'm pointing the moon. Yeah. So guys, few weeks before, I just get offered a job from my brother-in-law. Usually the reason why people not get hired maybe because lack of experience, lack of language, or lack of skill. In my case, I'm not hired for a job because of feng shui. Because of feng shui. That's why from that case, I know why K-pop industry, they have quite similar display. Maybe the CEO consult with the same feng shui master. So, and for the last, Chinese parents like to teach their kids about responsibility at young age. They start with tell their kid to wash the dish, their own dish, and finish with wash all the dish. Yeah, in Chinese family, in Chinese family, if you are younger, when you heard about newborn, it's like you got promotion from cadet to the captain in army, because now I can tell someone to wash all those dishes. I don't need to do anymore. Yeah. If you want to come to Medan, and then you want to become more friendly with Medan Chinese people, I suggest you to change your name to be more Chinese, to be more Melanese Chinese. How to change your name to become more Melanese Chinese? Just put the A in front of your name. For example, maybe for AG, you can change your name become Agia. It's more friendly in Medanese Chinese. It's more friendly, more than you call Regi. It's more friendly called Agia. Or maybe for Mr. Alan, maybe you can change to Alana. It's more friendly. That's all from me. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Give it up for Maurice, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Woo! You can see my haircut is inspired by his haircut. And it's amazing to know that actually Chinese people have taken a dump on the moon, right? It's like marking your territory, right? It's like leave it to Chinese to just shit everywhere, including on the moon. See, that's why I can't wait for space travel, because for sure in the future, if we have space travel, there's gonna be a space race between Malaysians, Indonesians, and Singaporean. Who's gonna open the first nasi lemak stall on the moon? There you go.
Malaysia.
And then we're gonna fight who has the right to set a dung in the moon.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you guys can open the stall. We can open the toilet for you guys and charge people for that. All right.
And don't worry. Don't worry, Indonesian will supply the clothes.
So we're gonna proceed with our last open micer, boys and girls. She's our admin, but through the sheer power of inspiration and force, we managed to have her here. So make sure that she has something to say. I think it's gonna be a good story from her, because you'll see by yourself. Please give a warm welcome for Linda.
Hey, thank you, Raj. So I'm gonna tell you stories about myself. When I was a kid, I grew up in a poor neighborhood. Even though there are many poor people, we don't have significant crime rates. We have several mosques as our social control and makes people very religious. We don't have thieves, rapists, sexual workers. We only have terrorists. Normal people are going to hide inside their house when the police came. But my neighbors, we are different. They roam around the terrorist house, admiring the handsome policeman who came to catch the terrorists. You know, it's the closest thing that my people can get to Korean stars. The policemen's skins are not that light, but compared to the people in my place, they are very light. The girls and the kids are even taking selfies with the policemen. And poor people, they tend to pray a lot because they barely have anything to do. They usually pray, Dear God, I work hard. I pray a lot to you. I do fasting every day. Please, 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 please make me rich. And God says, my son, whose prayer should I grant? Your prayer or the person you just robbed? Well, guys, don't you think that God will be confused? The men in my neighborhood, no matter from what ages, they are mostly muscular and fit. You guys gotta go to the gym, eat healthy food to build the muscles. My people, they don't have to do any of that. They have free gym because they work as construction laborers. Despite all that, the people in my neighborhood are in constant competition. If one person buys a washing machine, the other also buys a washing machine. One person buys a motorcycle, the other one also buys a motorcycle. Well, guess what? One person gets married, the other person also gets married. And you know, if the children are too young, the men get themselves a second wife, third wife, or fourth wife. Their similarity is they use loans to afford those. They can't pay the loan back. Well, I don't know. Are the wives gonna be taken? Whenever someone is getting married, it takes a village to have the wedding party. They take up the whole road, put on sun tents, blocking the street, singing and dancing dangdut all night. If people want to get through the road, they have to find another road to pass. And by the end of that road, you know what's there? People holding bucket asking money. And you know what's that for? It's to fund the wedding. I mean, how the hell you can ask money from strangers you don't even know and has nothing to do with them? But then again, how else can they afford the wedding? Like most poor people, my neighbors married young. When I was 20 and was not married yet, you know what they said? Lin Lin, when I was your age, yeah, I have to, you know, don't be too picky. Just marry any guy who wants you. And I was like, yeah, but you're poor, unemployed, and have crippling debts. I don't want to be like you. Tell that to my mom, okay? So because my parents believe that a Chinese must get married with a Chinese. I know that I don't look Chinese, but okay, bear with me. I used to have fairer skin back then. I have darker skin right now to give me survivability. So I dated a Chinese guy and brought him home to meet both of my parents. By the time me and my ex got home, my mom looked him up and down. And then she began asking questions, which actually sounded more like an interview. What's your name, ah? I'm Paulus. Okay. Your religion? I'm Catholic. Okay, good. Because if you are a Christian, you cannot date my daughter. My ex was confused and asked, why is that? Any particular reason? Because Christian people, they cannot burn incense when they pray. I want my in-laws to burn incense to pray for me after I die. And deep down, I was like, Ma, all prayers goes up there. No matter you burn the incense or not. Do you think that people in afterlife can differentiate prayers with incense or without incense? It's gonna be like, my kids pray for me without the incense. I refuse their prayers. No, but like that, man. Going to the next question. How much you earn in a month, huh? I could tell that my ex was shocked. I was embarrassed. My dad even hit his face, making the face palm. I was like, it was the craziest moment. I was like, okay. And then after he got home, he texted me, look, my mom has never even asked me how much I earn in a month. And your mom can actually ask it on the first meeting with a straight face. Lihai, shocking. And I remember another question that my mom asked. Where you live? Tell me the address. And her expression was like a debt collector. He's going after the person who failed to pay the debt. And well, people thought it might be an ordinary question, but no, it's not. Because the very next morning, my mom did her survey to find out what kind of neighborhood he lived in. And turns out he lived in a neighborhood that's similar like mine. My mom was furious and said, you must break up with him. You listen to me, yeah. He is poor, living in a poor neighborhood. And I was like, don't you look at our neighborhood, Ma. Give me another reason why I must break up with him. And my mom said, he's Chinese, but he's not Hokkien, eh? For your information, Hokkien is one of the Chinese tribes. The other tribes, my mom does not believe in them. And I said, I don't care if it's not Hokkien, eh? It's a guy who wanna be with me. He can be anyone. I don't care. As long as he wants me, I don't care. And my mom said, you must find a guy that is rich, has fair skin, tall and handsome. Yeah. And I was like, look at my face. Do I look pretty and can attract such guy? No. Look, I'm the working type, not the fucking type. Okay, guys, that's all for me. I hope you enjoy it. Back to you, Reggie.
Not what? What
And
type?
Not the fucking type, sir. Come on, look at me. Do I look sexy? No.
Yes.
Linda, oh my God.
From front to behind, all flat.
Linda, I want to meet your mother.
Oh my God. It's gonna be doomsday, sir. Trust me.
I can't even believe you Chinese. You don't look Chinese at all for me.
Yeah, because living in a poor neighborhood, people
know
bullish you for being Chinese. So I had to change my skin color.
You blend very well, Lin. You blend very well.
Blend in with them.
Oh my God, you
I'm
blend.
being avoided to be called Chinese all the time.
Look, it's either she got that skin or she got bullied every day. So it's survival. So it is survivability. Nicely done, my God. Okay. See, apparently our admin got some hidden talent, doesn't she? She's there. Yeah. All right. Well done, Linda. Well done. Now, if Linda asks us to go to her home, don't come. Yeah, we know where she lives. We are going to proceed with the openers now, ladies and gentlemen. But before we go there, I'd like to remind you, that before the headliner session, we are going to have a vote, right? So just to remind you, who are our open micers? First, we have Jumai. Second, we have Gloria. Third, we have Morris. And last, we have Linda. Okay? So you may consider who you want to vote as your favorite. And you will have the chance to do so before the headliner session, along with your favorite openers. Now, without further ado, let's go into the opener session. So these comedians are more seasoned, and that's why they have a longer duration. And for our first comedian, he comes all the way from India, but closer to Malaysia. All right. And because he safely lives in Malaysia right now, he got some cultural shock because, you know, blending in with the Malaysians is not the easiest thing to do, isn't it? But don't trust me. Don't take my word for it. Yeah, let's listen to his perspective. Let's welcome Pawan.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin, let me just put this on because just to tell you guys that it's the same guy that was there in the poster. Because ever since the poster is up, people have been asking me, Pawan, is that really you? And I really don't know what has really changed, you know. I put the cap, not put the cap, still me. I come from India, as Reggie has already mentioned, and I was expecting some laughter there because that is the biggest joke of my life. Many people tell me that I don't really sound like an Indian. And as a person who has lived his entire life trying to meet other people's expectations, let me try to impress you with my Indian accent. Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be here tonight. Oh, God. That was awful. Sorry for that. I don't know. I really don't know how to do an Indian accent. And it really gets me worried how Indian people do the Indian accent, you know. But then there are a billion people in India. And trust me, they don't even understand each other. Let me tell you something really exciting about being an Indian from India. Nothing. There's really nothing. People don't really get excited when I tell them that I'm from India. Because I think they think that they already know a lot about people from India. Oh, you're an Indiana from India. You must be good at computers. Are you working in the IT sector? You are a vegetarian, right? Cannot eat beef, huh? Hey, do you dance like those people in Bollywood can dance anytime and anywhere? Well, let me get some facts really straight. All those things are really true in my case. And that really makes me feel like a big loser of people's interest in me. And as I've already mentioned, I was brought up in a society where I was always taught to put what other people think of you first. So I am constantly looking for ways to get people excited about me. And that's why when people say that I don't really sound like an Indian, I don't get offended at all. In fact, I think, well, there is some hope after all. I also get that I don't really look like a person who can fix computers. In fact, the other day, I was told that I look like a gangster who will snatch the computer away. I guess it may be true, but then I'll fix the computer and return to you safely. Debunking stereotypes is my new hobby. And in fact, I started to eat beef just to do that. So that when people say, hey, you can't eat beef, huh? I just stop them. Hey, wait. Actually, you know what? I can eat beef. I like to eat beef. So where is the beef? Bring me my beef. I just hope that my parents don't get to listen to this video or they will just abandon me. Let me think what else I should tell you guys about myself. Yeah, I'm single. Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. With this charming like face, how's that even possible? Well, I was recently asked to do comedy, and while doing some research, I came across this article that told that if you want to be a good comedian, you should stop taking things seriously. And I applied that to my relationships. Well, before being single, I was actually involved in a lifelong relationship with myself. That is just another way of saying that I've always been single. But then that's mainly because I couldn't get anyone else to be in a relationship with me because I know that I'm a very high maintenance guy. And by high maintenance, simply put, is someone who is very difficult to live with. I am so difficult that even my parents sent me to boarding school when I was young. Well, it was not technically a boarding school, but more like a foster home where I was living with my aunt. But the rules were strict. And you know, when you get to live a lot by yourself, you learn to appreciate the pleasure that you get by doing things by your own hand, you know? And that's why I've always been single. I've been... Oh, that was a great oh. I think someone really relates with my experience. I've been living and working in Malaysia for 7.5 years now, and over the years, yay, thanks for that. I can hear some Malaysians in the crowd. Actually, that's not by chance. They were all pulled in by myself again. Living for 7.5 years in Malaysia, I've come to understand that Malaysians can't really tell foreigners from locals. Like recently, there has been a lot of hoo-ha where I've heard that one Malaysian calls another Malaysian a panumpang, which is Malay for guests. While the real panumpang, that's me, gets something like, oh my God, I thought you are local. I completely mistook you as a local. You know, you don't seem like a foreigner. Come on, seriously, you call your own people panumpang and call me as a local? Well, there's really some learning to do, Malaysians. So when I moved, before I was moving to Malaysia, actually, I had no idea of the culture and lifestyle here. I thought that I was leaving behind hundreds and thousands of people, actually 1 billion people like me back there. But later I realized I'm just moving into a country to perfectly blend in 100 million more. I never got discriminated, even though I really wanted to, you know. Well, don't get me wrong, you know. I think that discrimination is bad of any kind, but I also think that there are two kinds of discrimination, you know. There's a kind of discrimination where you devalue someone's personality and you view them as someone lower of what they're actually capable of. And there's another kind of discrimination where you upvalue someone and you tend to give them a higher respect than they are capable of. The society where I come from, I usually have seen the other kind. That's why I think the other type of discrimination is lesser of the two evil. For example, when in India, you see a white guy, you automatically assume that they are rich and you try to sell them things at double the price. That's the kind of discrimination, the subtle discrimination I was hoping for. But no, everywhere I went here, I was first approached in Tamil because that's the language that Indian people speak here. I don't. Well, when they see that I'm not making any good progress with Tamil, they switch to Bahasa because they think at least I should know Bahasa. Ha, who knows? I can't even get that. Eventually, they shift to the universal sign language of pointing at things. So that's how I get my things or food in a stall. Point, 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 point. So that's what Malaysia has offered me so far. It's really interesting blending into the new culture and getting these experiences and sharing my lifestyle with them. And I really hope that I have more stories to share with you again. Until then, it's me, Pawan. Thank you. Back to you, Reggie.
Bye.
Oh, his jokes are subtle, huh?
Totally.
Yeah, very, very subtle. Maybe like, hey, what? Was that what I thought that was? Oh, yeah, apparently, yes. Thank you very much.
It's very, very funny, yeah.
Very funny.
See, you all can do Indian accent better than him.
It's totally very funny to me.
Not Indian.
All right. Let's move on to our second opener, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So, another guy from Malaysia. Yay, boo! Yay, boo!
Yay!
However, not only that he lives far away, but also he provides a very distinct type of comedy, musical comedy. All right. Yay! So our one and only musical comedian, all the way from Malaysia. Please give it up for Shaiful Onisan.
Thank you. How you guys? Am I on the spotlight? Okay, here you go. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for having me on the show. First of all, before I start my set, okay, Pawan. Penumpang is passenger, bro. Like when you go on Grab, you're the penumpang, passenger. Pendatang is foreigner. So I think whoever taught you bahasa Malaysia is also a pendatang. Come on, lah, brother. 7 years lah. Brother, you sure, brother? Alright. Okay. Indians don't understand each other, right? Yeah, that's why they go like this all the time. The real Indians, yeah, they don't understand. Yeah. And lastly, before I start my set, stop taking our jobs. We're losing jobs because of Corona. All right, guys. That just friendly banter. Anyway, yeah. So my name is Saiful Onisan. I'm a musical comedian. I'm a father of two. I've got two young girls. Right? I got two young girls. One is 3 years old and one is 9 months old. And you know what? I miss the baby stages of the kids because they can't talk back to you. I miss that, right? So, you know, I really regret teaching my daughter how to talk. That was a bad move. So for parents who are having young kids, never teach them how to talk. Right? At least you win. At least you win. Yeah. So, you know, I feel sorry for my first daughter. She's 3 years old, right? Safia Medina. Corona is really bad. The kids can't go out to school. They can't go see their friends. It's really messed up. Malaysia has been on, I can't even count how many lockdowns. It's so messed up. It's so bad that she's making friends in the house. Okay, meaning the other day, she was having a cookie, right? She was eating it. And then she had another one, and there was half a cookie, and she was crumbling. She putting it on the floor. And I'm like, Safia, stop doing that. What are you doing? It's going to be dirty. It's okay, Baba. I'm feeding my friends. Yes, the ants are her friends. He has friends who are ants and bugs. Please, let us out of our house. Bloody politicians. And the other day, you know, things are so bad. I picked up my baby the other day, right? And she started screaming and shouting like she didn't recognize me, you know. And she poked me in the eye. And I'm like, Anya, it's Baba. What are you doing? And then she's screaming, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Then she recognized me, you know? So anyway, thank you so much, guys. You know, so for my first song, I would like to sing for you guys is a song about being a parent and the struggles of being a father. So I hope you guys like it. Check it out. Why am I frozen?
I'm a proud father of two, and I'm even prouder of the fact that my wife is so damn hot. I know I didn't have to mention that, but I really, really wanted to. This song is not about flexing or bragging to you. This song is about the struggles of a father and what makes us feel blue. I always play with your sister and you, but sometimes mama and me wanna play dumb too. So when you sleep, I'll take a nap. Can you do it at the same time? Make it at least an hour, that will be just fine. And stop chicken blocking me. Yes, I said chicken, cause I don't wanna use that word that rhymes with box. Stop chicken blocking me. Mom and me are married, it's totally halal. Don't chicken block me. Stop chicken. Stop, stop, stop chicken. Stop chicken blocking me. Stop chicken blocking me. Stop chicken blocking me.
All right, thank you. So give it up for my my wife, chicken number 1, chicken number 2. Anyway, yeah, so you know, now things in the pandemic, you know, you have to dress a certain way to go to certain places, right? So like when you want to go to an official government building, you would dress up in, you know, something with a collar, right? Like this, right? But my favorite is when you dress up like this, right? Dress up like this, right? So you got the hoodie and you got the cap and you got the mask, right? And you got your shades. This is my favorite. So I would go like this and I go to the bank. Yeah, can you imagine if I did this, you know, 3 years ago, the fat guy with the shotgun would blow off my face. So I'm really enjoying it, you know. This is my uniform for the bank, right? And sometimes I even go the extra mile and I pretend I have a gun in my jacket, right? You know, and then they're like, "Hey, what do you got in there?" Bang, relax, bang, sanitizer. All right, so you know, things are very stressful, things are very hard during this pandemic. And for Hari Raya Aidil Adha recently, we couldn't go home. Although some people did go home, right? A lot of them went home, and now our number's gonna go up. So shame on you guys. But anyway, a lot of us couldn't go home, including me. So, but I prepared. So I made a song about celebrating the Corona Raya. So it goes something like this. Check it out.
Terima kasih kepada coronavirus. Tahun ini tak boleh keluar beraya. Tak payah jumpa sanak saudara yang macam sial. Dompet pun tak koyak, tak payah kasih duit raya. Tapi sekali lagi kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada Corona haram jadah. Tahun ini tak boleh keluar beraya. Terima kasih dan selamat Hari Raya. Tahun ini duduk rumah menangis saja. Vaksin dah keluar pun ramai yang masih kena. Terima kasih Corona dan selamat Hari Raya. Terima kasih.
Thank you, DJ Sean, for playing that music all the way from Sermon. Give it up for DJ Sean. Alright, so the best part about this coronavirus is we can't go back for Hari Raya. So that means we don't have to give duit raya, right? Alhamdulillah. And I just wanted to talk a bit about what Linda said, right? How can you ask money from strangers? Very easy. Can I have some money? Give me money! Give me money! But not so intimidating lah, because then they think you're getting robbed, right? Anyway, so guys, even in this pandemic, I still believe that love is very strong, and for you to prepare for love, I'm going to teach you this next song. It's in Japanese, so for all the people who want to get a Japanese guy or Japanese girl, this is what you do. You take them out for dinner or lunch, right? And you sing to them happy birthday in Japanese. That will melt their hearts. Japanese language is one of the hardest in the world. But follow how I sing, you'll be able to speak Japanese like an expert, just like that. All right? So go something like this. Listen carefully, yeah?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you so much. That was my set. Back to you, wonderful host, Reggie.
Hey, give it up for the one and only Untitled Onisa.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, I've been to Japan myself, and I have to confess that's exactly how they sing, right? That's how they sing Happy Birthday, exactly like that. That's accurate. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that during the pandemic you go out sometimes, get some fresh air, work out to maintain your sanity. All right. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like Shaiful. That's
exactly. Go out and spread the disease. Go out and spread the disease.
Look what he did to his hair. I bet you dye your hair by your own, right? For sure.
No, this grew out, bro. It grew out. It wasn't like this.
You scared me. I need to get out just to maintain my mental sanity. Otherwise, I'm gonna have like you or your daughter making fun with that. God damn, let's get you some air.
That's why I got 2 wives. One's not enough.
It's a whole basket case in his house. All right. My God, very fun guy, also very strange at the same time. Thank you, Shaiful.
Thank you for the compliments.
Yes, we are going to go into our last performer. One thing I love about Comeng, personally, that we have a lot of female comedians. Yeah?
Yeah.
All of them are very good, including this next one. Ooh, no pressure. I compliment her before the show because I expect a lot of her. So, ladies and gentlemen, our next comedian is from Bali. She's a successful female businessman and businesswoman, I'm sorry, right? And because her business is struggling as pandemic, that's why she's trying comedy right now. My God, poor decision. But hey, let's give it a shot. Please welcome Natalie.
Woo!
Thank you, Reggie. I haven't changed my gender, so it's still businesswoman,
Yeah.
in case you're wondering. Hi, guys. Let me ask you one question. Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Present.
When I was small, my aunt told me that if I were a good girl, Santa would grant my wish. So when Christmas came, Santa, I want sweet candy, big toys, and smaller teeth. After that, I didn't believe in Santa anymore. Santa sucks. Now, people said you usually get the best from your parents. So I'm grateful for my parents who put their stamp on me in case I was kidnapped. I got my big teeth from my dad, my crooked teeth from my mom. I got my white lips from my dad and my misaligned jaw from my mom. See the pattern? Everything that's big come from my dad. Everything that's not even comes from my mom. My mood swing? Hormones. When people saw little Natalie for the first time, until I smiled. I look like a bunny with steroid injected teeth being punched with by a kangaroo. I learned the bitterness of the world at the age of 6. Parents lie. Now raise your hand if you have been bullied before. Let me see. Oh, yeah, my fellow bullied. Me too. When I entered elementary school, I was being bullied, of course, because of my big and crooked teeth. Your teeth so big you could open can. I might be young, but I'm not stupid. Why use teeth when you have can opener? And then one boy tried to hit me. So I did my best to do self-defense with my greatest assets. I beat him. He was crying and shouting on the school hallway, "Rabies!" Big teeth may be hereditary, but stupidity is a choice. After that, my teeth had always been the bane of my existence. And my parents, because they love me so much, they forced me to wear braces since I was 10. Woo! We even had a family dentist, a nice older gentleman whom I met every month for 3 consecutive years. I was so close with him. He even knew my private part. You know, the V part. Vestibule. And one day, when I was in junior high, my dentist said, "Natalie, come and remove your braces. It's done." It's done after 3 long years. No more big and crooked teeth. So I went to the clinic and he removed them. "Doctor,
Why are my teeth still big? Oh, braces are to reduce gaps, not the size. So size does matter. But my teeth story did not stop there. To infinity and beyond. When I turned 17, after doing annual dental checkup, my dentist again said, Natalie, I think you have wisdom teeth. You should do x-ray so we can remove them. Now, I don't know why people call this teeth wisdom teeth when we need to remove them. Maybe they want to keep us stupid and ignorant. By the way, fun fact about wisdom teeth. People from Europe or Africa, they have bigger builds, so they usually have 4 or more wisdom teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you're Asian like me, we have smaller builds, so we should have less. I had 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As usual, anything related to my teeth are big, unnecessary, and excessive. Just like that breakup drama with your ex.
Oh.
Oh, by the way, hi Alex, hi Reggie, and Gloria. We all live in Bali, one of the best places to be in a lockdown period, if you have money and visa. And Balinese, they are very spiritual people. They have so many different ceremonies, from building house, getting married, yada yada yada, including this teeth filing ceremonies, in which the Balinese priest would file down canine teeth to keep the evil spirit away. Now imagine if I were one of those people registering for the ceremony. The priest will look at me, say a little prayer. Oh, oh, oh. Young lady, you do not need this ceremony. Let the evil spirit rest in you. Wow. So size can suppress even evil spirit. I guess it does matter. And Maurice, so let's not start talking about feng shui, how your teeth can influence your life, your luck, or your love life. It's another can of worms to open. Not this time, maybe next time. And guys, I know it's like a stressful time with COVID. And nowadays in my WhatsApp group, I heard more sad news than good news. Does it happen to you too? Yeah. So I try to maintain my peace of mind by making peace with things that drag me down. My teeth. I met Reggie last December, and actually he could spot me from like 1 kilometer afar. Apparently, my smile was as blinding as a car headlights. Thanks to my teeth, polished to perfection. Just like Mr. Arlan's or Reggie forehead. See, there's always a bright side to every situation, even with my teeth. But sometimes it requires sacrifice. For me, this is it. 1 toothbrush every month, because too big to handle. And I picked up a new hobby during this pandemic. This hobby even got me some money and made me smile so big without restraint. I love wearing masks. I can smile all I want, and people will just focus on my eyes. And by the way, I made this mask. It's guaranteed make your jaw and your cheekbone look slimmer, right? It covers all the imperfection. And if you want to buy it, I'm so open for orders. So if you want to buy and support your local business, drop your contacts on the chat box or contact this number. Oh, sorry, wrong channel. So let me close with my signature smile. All teeth, no eyes. Thank you, everyone. This is Natalie. Hey, little Natalie, come here and say bye. Hasta la vista.
Give it up for Natalie, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Wow. All right. Jokes aside, boys and girls. I mean, number one, it's quite difficult to have female comedian. Number two, it's even more difficult to get a female comedian who can self-deprecate themselves that far. All right. Okay. Natalie make fun of herself so much, it shamed us boys. I was like, wow. Now, I wish I have big teeth so I can be that funny.
Reggie, God is so fair. You don't need big teeth to be funny.
I know. My life is fun without big teeth. But, you know. But hey, by the way, you made like a what? 7-10 minutes. That's all about teeth. That is insane.
This is what pandemic made me do.
Holy crap! A whole 10 minutes talking about just this part of your body. All right. And by the way, Natalie, this gonna sound mean, but when you wear that mask, oh my God, I was like, lovely eyes. I never seen those eyes before.
That's what I thought.
But anyway, also Natalie, seriously, Natalie makes like good masks. Yeah, they're like good-looking masks, and she that was no joke. She's selling masks because doing comedy is still gambling. So please support Natalie's business if you want to buy a good mask, and just in case you have mouth as foul as she has, so yeah, buy her
Guaranteed to
mask.
cover
Anyway.
everything.
Exactly. If the mask can cover Natalie's teeth, it can cover your teeth. Mask has been tested. Let's proceed, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go into headliner. But before that, as I promised you, we are going to vote, right? So let me remind you, our open micers were Jumai, Gloria, Morris, and Linda. Yes, and Linda. All right. So 3 girls and 1 boy. Please vote for your favorite. Yes. Here you go. The voting line is open. So please vote for your favorite. All right.
Done.
And the result is in. Are we going to announce the voting result now?
Yes, I think so.
All right. So it's still being tabulated. It's going to be announced very, very soon, like now soon. But then again, our admin is still under training. But so far, he's doing a great job. Hey, Sean. Keep on trying. Right. We're right behind you. All right. So, yeah, before we announce the result of the open micer, let me remind you who were the openers. We've had Pawan, and then we have Shaiful, and then, of course, who can forget Natalie Big Smile? And then we have Natalie as the last in the lineup for openers. All right, and before we announce, before we go into voting your favorite opener, we are going to announce the open micer. Announce the open micer. Announce, oh crap. It's the, like seriously, it's
I thought you wanted to read it.
I was about to make some lousy improv jokes. Thank God we have the result. So the winner is not the winner. Everyone is a winner. Very zen. But the most favorite comedian is Gloria. Congratulations, Gloria. Very close with Linda.
Yay!
Right? I bet Juma and Morris vote for themselves. that explains the
No,
result.
Jumat, she couldn't because the connection was bad.
True. Somebody that actually has the same kind of connection, probably. All right. That's the result. Congratulations, Gloria. Now we are going to vote for the openers. So please display the opener. There you go. And it's live. It's live. It's live. All right. And I think the result is going to be quite obvious so far. We have a race between Pawan and Shaiful, but Natalie is leading, and I think Natalie is the most favorite. Yeah, bright smile wins the day. You're not blinded. So there you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Natalie. Well done, right? Being honest with yourself pays by winning the best voting and a virtual online comedy show with no pay. But at least you can feel happy.
Very sad, Reggie.
But hey, congrats, all right? Good job. Now, before we go into the headliner show, we are going to take a picture together, all right? So Gloria and Natalie can cherish this moment forever, one moment in their life in which they can be the best by highlighting the worst part of their body. All right?
Everyone, turn on camera.
Turn on your camera, please, unless you're naked. Or you know what? Especially when you're naked, turn on your camera. We appreciate naked audience.
Come on, girls.
Okay, so everyone's ready? If so, I will begin taking in 3, 2, 1. Say yay!
Yay!
2. 3, 2, 1. Yay! All right. All right, it's done.
Thank you very much.
Your goodness.
John. Right. Now, great job for our open micers and our openers. Yeah, it was very entertaining and insightful listening for you. Now we are going to go into our headliners. People that have come all the way to join Comeng. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start with somebody all the way from Europe, but now he's living in Bali. He's a Belgian. He's from Belgium, and he's the only guy that say Belgium sucks. I was like, what? How privileged. But let's welcome our first headliner, Alex Fabry.
Woo. Let's get up. Everybody good?
Yay!
Of course, everybody is having a great time because we've seen some great comedy tonight. And let's lower the standard from now on. Since the lockdown, I haven't been able to perform. So I'm very happy that I can perform here because I love to get all the attention as a comedian. Yeah, of course I do. I mean, people that do performing, whatever performing they do, if they say they don't like to get all the attention, those people are like constipated people, meaning they're full of shit. Comedians, that's a special breed. A lot of people think, oh, I would love to be friends with a comedian. They look like nice people. No, it's not because we're funny that we are nice people. I swear, in my comedy group is like the 7 dwarfs. There's only one that is happy. There is a reason why comedians are single. And even though they are single, they still have a 3-bedroom villa. Yeah, because they need all the space for their ego. And because, thank you, Reggie, love it. Because of that villa, they don't have any money for a psychologist or a shrink. So they use the stage and they use the crowd as their therapy. And even if they would have the money, well, they wouldn't agree with just one person listening to them. Their ego wants to have everybody listening to them. Yeah, let's face it. Most of the comedians are narcissistic nutters. And that's why I finally found a group where I fit in. But in all honesty, I don't think the comedians in my group, I don't think they suffer from narcissism or anything else. Nah, they don't suffer. I think they enjoy it. Was too smart, this one? So I think I'm a bit of an exception in my group. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am a narcissistic nutter, but I am one of the few guys that has a girlfriend. But please don't tell my wife. I'm already happy in my comedy group that there is no normal people.
Like this. There we go.
Because
okay, we're gonna hold fall. Okay, ready? Oh. You're gonna sit.
Please mute Jumai.
Yeah? Okay. I'm already happy in my group, the comedy group, that there is no normal people. Yeah, that makes the chance to have a serial killer in our group a lot smaller, because the serial killer is always the normal guy. Be careful if there's a normal guy next to you. And in all honesty, I love my comedy group, but I don't like everybody in my group. There's a few people that are very, very competitive. Oh yeah. I mean, not everything should be a competition. We should be allowed to do things for fun. But those people, they practice hard on every comedy set. They write new material. Really terrible. It's very difficult for me to be better than them. Okay. And on top of all this, all of the comedians are addicts. Yes, we are all addicted to performing the stage and your laughter. And this is why today we are all kissing the royal ass of Reggie.
No, I don't.
Yes, because Reggie is our dealer. He's our stage dealer today. And you know how it goes with dealers? The first time you can go for free. He hopes you bring friends. But from that moment on, you start paying. Yeah? So I'm already ahead and I've been paying a lot, and now I didn't have money for tonight. So I had no other choice. I had to give him a blowjob.
Oh my God.
I mean, we all know he's Chinese, but how something small can be so disgusting. Sorry, Reggie. But I think there's worse addictions than comedy. A friend of mine, he's addicted to gambling. He likes to do bets. And he would always dare people and then do a bet. And I have a good example. So Justin, we would go to a bar, and Justin is a guy that likes to do bets. And he would say to Mark, I bet you that you cannot go to that woman at the bar and kiss her. Mark already had a few beers, and he goes like, I bet you I can. So $100. So they bet. And then Mark goes for his quest. What Mark doesn't know is that Justin already made a bet with all the other friends saying that Mark would kiss a ladyboy. So another friend in this group, he even got a worse addiction. He's addicted to masturbating. Yes, he is a wanker. Believe me, with him, it was always hard. And it got even worse. His addiction got out of his hand when his addiction suddenly became a sex addiction. He became addicted to sex. And I shouldn't be laughing with it, because this guy, he tried everything. He tried fucking everything. Even that lady boy from the bar.
Oh.
Well, I think it's important, people, that you know, if you go in the future, if you go and see comedy, it's important that you remember these words that I said, that your laughter is our addiction. So you better start laughing! But anyway, if people didn't laugh, we as comedians, we would never blame ourselves. No, we would talk to each other and say, difficult crowd tonight, yeah? Difficult. Zoom is shit, man. Connection, bad connection. Yeah. You think Indonesians understand English? No. Most of them do. It's the Russians that are a problem. Let's not start about Russians. I swear, the area where I live, Canggu. Any of you guys already been to Canggu area? Please wave. Wow, first time ever so many women wave at me. Oh, that was a lady boy. Sorry, dude. Anyway, I live in Canggu area, and I think it's quite intimidating, because everywhere you go, you meet up with people with that perfect body. Well, perfect. It would be perfect if they would have the brain that goes with it. When I meet those kind of people, I always have like a double feeling. First of all, I'm super jealous. I mean, I want that kind of body. Then the second thing is, I feel sorry for them. I mean, those poor bastards, they must spend all of their money on that overpriced fitness because they don't have any money anymore to buy a shirt, a mask, or a helmet. Poor bastards. For me, a gym, that's a little bit like a church. I mean, I'm only going a few times a year. And mostly I'm motivated because there's a wedding. So the gym I'm going to now, it was weird the other day. They discovered a peephole overlooking the women's dressing room. And there was a bit of a panic. So they called the police, and the police is still looking into it. Even as I speak now. Indonesian police. Well, as they blocked the peephole, I couldn't look, and I went to the men's dressing room that day. And you know how men are. We just get naked next to one another. And it's not that we are there to go and look to each other's penis. But that day, it was different. I swear, there was like a calling. It was like, hey, psst, psst, look at me, look at me. And I went, whew, unbelievable. I see this skinny, tiny little guy with an enormous penis. Oh my God. I swear, if this guy would get an erection, he probably gets dizzy. All the blood goes downhill. Unbelievable. Oh, and I was not the only one that could not resist the calling of the monster. Monster. I swear, if this guy swims on his back, on a lake, people will think they've seen the monster of Loch Ness. And I saw the other guys also peeping. And it was quite funny. One of the guys that was looking was a bodybuilder. You know how these guys are. They built on their body. And his name was Bob. Bob the Builder. So Bob the Builder, he built on every muscle. And sadly, he forgot that small muscle there. And then his body was so big that it looks like his head is way too small for the body. And it looks like he no longer has a neck. Which is nice because now he looks like his pit bull. Anyway, let's start talking about me doing some exercises, because otherwise you all will think I'm a pervert. I am a pervert. But I also do fitness. So that one day I went to the fitness to do bench press. Bench press is like it's a bench. You go and lay down on it, and above you there's a bar, and the bar is on two hooks. And normally on that bar, especially men, we put way too much weight on it. And then we have to lift the bar, let it go down on the chest, and push it up again. Okay? I start. Suddenly, I'm stuck. I put too much weight on it. Oh my God, damn it. I tried everything. I couldn't lift the bar anymore. I even prayed to God, even though I'm an atheist. And then I look and I see, oh, there's a guy. But he's wearing headphones. So yeah, I cannot shout. He wouldn't hear me. I look to the right. Oh, there's somebody. But it's that pretty girl. I'm not going to ask her for help. I mean, I have my pride. So there was no other thing to do. I needed to roll this heavy bar that was on my chest all the way down. And I started rolling, 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 rolling. And just when I arrived near my normal size penis, I hesitated. I'm like, maybe I should try to get up. couldn't get up. So I have to say, the rolling over my penis was quite Now I know how these lady boys make their penis disappear.
Oh.
That's the trick. That moment, I learned my lesson. Yeah, if I want to do bench press, I ask somebody to help me. So I asked Antonio. Antonio is a Spanish guy, and they always spit when they talk. And so Antonio and me started doing bench press, and he goes first. So Antonio lays down with his head here, and I go here. I help to lift the bar, and he starts. And he does the full series. And it's quite important when you do this exercise that when you let the bar go down, you breathe in, and then you breathe out the moment you push. Breathe in. Antonio is quite good with that breathing. The problem is, a serial killer has hidden dead bodies in his mouth. Oh my God. I'm like, so I was happy it was my turn. So I go on the bench. I think this is easy. Normally I do like 15 times with that weight. And I start, it goes easy. Easy. I made one mistake. Suddenly I looked up. Damn it. The dude was not wearing any underwear. I saw his ding-dong. I saw the damn. I swear, I thought it was Christmas. I saw the balls hanging. I panicked. The bar went on my chest. There was no power anymore. God, second time, I asked help to somebody I don't believe in. Help me. And Antonio would come and go, come closer. And maybe I lower the camera so you can see how Antonio came, and he comes like this. And I'm here. And so he goes like this. So his Spanish meatballs were practically hanging in my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, again. So I took all the power and I pushed. And that moment, Antonio went down. So the meatballs were on my face. His chorizo was rubbing like a Mexican that is saying hello. I got the bar there. I got up. I swallowed that little bit of vomit. And then I thought, wow, his balls were quite soft. I wonder if he lasered them or maybe he shaved them. But anyway, I couldn't get this bad experience out of my mind. I was like, this is it for me. I cannot train like this. So yeah, I went to the shower, had a quick wank, and I felt a lot better. And then I went home and I was still a little bit horny. So I came home. I ripped off my wife's underwear because it's a little bit too small for me. And that's why now that's why I wear a pants doing a Zoom, because I'm wearing my wife's underwear again. Guys, that was it. I was Alex Fabry. Thank you so much. Really happy to be able to join this group.
Give it up for Alex, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, that was
Alex.
disgusting at the same time. But hey, Alex Fabry, the only white guy that has ever given me a blowjob. Yeah, not bad, by the way.
For me, it was bad.
I mean, for me, I was like, at least a blowjob. Any blowjob, that no blowjob is still a good blowjob. Oh my God, man. I'm so ready to go to prison now. Universal blowjob rights. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as the night continues, we have entered the dick joke zone. All right. So after this, it's no holds barred. All right. The clean jokes has expired. After this, anything goes. So please don't blame the comedian. It's just the time and also the alcohol and drugs. Now we are going to go into our last headliner for this evening. Her video has went viral. If you have checked her out, right? But just to entertain you further, we have the person live with us right now. Please welcome the one and only Sarah Pang.
Hi guys, thank you. Is my voice okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Sarah, originally from China. So I'm not Singaporean Chinese. I am Chinese. Back in China, I lived in a city called Suzhou. It's a small city nearby Shanghai, which only has 10 million people. In my city, people say I'm the top female comedian because I'm the only one. And once after a show, a foreigner said, "So Sarah, what's your real name? Because you don't look like Sarah." I was like, "Do you speak fluent Chinese?" He said, "No, why?" I said, "Then you are not ready for my real name." Many foreigners in China that don't speak good Chinese. I have one American friend. He speaks only 3 Chinese sentences. 你好, hello. For him, that's already one sentence. 我是美国人. I am American. And 美女有微信吗? Which means beautiful. Do you have WeChat? Normally after 你好, Chinese people are already impressed. Wow, your Chinese is so good. Can you imagine me in the US can only say hello, I am Chinese. Handsome, do you have Facebook? That sounds like a hooker. The other time, I invited a Chinese friend to watch my show. After the show, my friend was very excited. Good job, Sarah. You should keep doing it because you are the only comedian I can totally understand. I was like, what? The other comedians, many of them are native English speaker. What's the problem? My friend said, that is a problem. Their English too native, but your English sounds so familiar. The other time, after a show, a guy said, Sarah, English is your second language. You're so brave. I was like, brave? I'm not funny? You know, the host can introduce me. Please welcome our next comedian, Sarah Pullman. And she's very brave, you know. You know what's real brave? Real brave is a Chinese girl at my age, still dare to go to the parents' place during Chinese New Year by herself. Actually, I'm not that brave. So my parents haven't seen me for several years. The other time, after a show, a guy said, Sarah, I give you one free advice. Next time when you're on stage, try to dress more sexy. I was like, a comedy club is not strip club. Plus, you have only paid 15 RMB. Actually, this is 200 RMB sexy. After the show, you owe me 150. The other time, a guy said, Sarah, your jokes are too clean. You should write some dirty jokes. I was like, you know, we Chinese people, we don't feel comfortable talking about sex. We just do it. Otherwise, 1.3 billion people, do you think it's easy? Back in China, I started to learn English since I was 12. At the beginning, I hated it. I asked my classmates, do you think all English people have to study Chinese? My classmates said, no, why? And I said, then why? We all have to study English. We are in China. I have a dream today. This dream is deeply rooted in a Chinese dream. I have a dream that one day black kids and white kids are sitting together and studying Chinese. I have a dream that one day my future children could live in a nation where they will not be judged by the level of their English, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day there is no TOEFL, only HSK. If you guys even don't know what is HSK, shame on you. But I did study it very hard. After 6 years of hard work, I finally good at English exam. So when I was 18, year one in university, I still couldn't communicate with foreigners. So my classmates said, practice makes perfect. Let's practice English together. So I said, how are you? My classmate replied to me quickly, I'm fine, thank you. And you? I said, I'm fine too. Then long silence, conversation ended. After a while, the classmate said, so, where are you from? I said, China, you? She said, me too. Another long silence. After a while, I said, so, how old are you? She said, 18, you? I said, me too. Can you believe another Me Too movement actually started in China by two Chinese female students? Then I said, this conversation is not working, you know. This is an insult of our intelligence. We should find some foreigners, English native speaker to practice English. So one day on campus, I saw a guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, definitely not Chinese. I took a deep breath. I'm gonna make him an offer he cannot refuse. Don't worry, not sex. I know for some people, language partner, sex partner, all the same, you know. So I said, excuse me, do you need to find someone to practice Chinese? He said, yeah, I came to China to study Chinese. I was so happy, mission accomplished. But soon I find out that guy was from Russia. His Chinese was poor. His English was also very poor. I reluctantly practiced the Chinese with him. You know, so next time I thought about how to politely get rid of him, because I don't really want to practice Chinese with a Russian guy. My Chinese is already perfect. And then I went to language school to improve my English. At that time, my English teacher was a Chinese guy, but he was very good at motivating us. In class, my teacher said, boys and girls, study English harder, especially those ugly girls. Maybe it's difficult for you to find a boyfriend here in China. Study English harder, go to America. For them, you're mysterious Asian beauty. They cannot tell. So I did study very hard. Several years later, I did go to America. But don't take me wrong, I consider myself good looking back in China. So when the first time I heard Americans said, Sarah, you're pretty, I was totally shocked. I was like, oh my God, I'm really that ugly back home? Talking about good looking. I remember once after a show, a guy said, Sarah, I think you're very good looking. As a stand-up comedian, I was like, what do you mean as a comedian? He said, I mean tonight on stage, you are the most beautiful girl. I was like, tonight on stage, I was the only girl. I studied in Philadelphia. So at that time, I have a Chinese classmate, and he was also very good at English exam. So one day he went to New York. He wanted to see the Statue of Liberty, but he forgot how to say it in English. He said, he wondered, is this called free woman? That sounds right. Freedom goddess? It's not sounds right. Eventually he asked people, said, excuse me, do you know how can I find here? He proudly back to Philly and shared his experience. And then our Chinese friend said, really? You should do your homework. You even don't know how to say the Statue of Liberty in English. Back in China, if you do something stupid, you're just a stupid guy. But here in the US, you do something stupid, you're a stupid Chinese guy. You are losing our face here. And then he said, no, relax. Here in the US, I have never, ever lost our Chinese people's face. Because whenever I have to do something stupid, I always told people, excuse me, I'm from Japan. Seriously, I have even learned some Japanese just in case. And talking about New York, I liked there, you know, big city, many weird people. And I feel so comfortable, you know. One day, me and my friend were there, and on street, we saw a couple. In front of them, there was a piece of paperboard. Homeless couple, please help. I was like, I saw many homeless people, but I have never ever seen homeless couple. You know, you heard people say no money, no women, you know. I was like, wow, this must be true love. And then my friend beside me said, so sad. I said, no need to feel sad for them. At least they have each other. And at least there are English native speakers. They can always go to China to teach English. No, I feel so sad for myself. See, even homeless people have a partner. Why I'm still single? Then I said, don't worry, you should read a book, which is called Don't Marry Before Age 30. Then my friend said, but I would like to get married before 30. Ideally, I would like to date this guy around 1 year. I would like to plan my wedding half a year. Oh my God, I got less than 2 months to meet him. I can't believe I've just wasted half an hour talking with you. In the US, I also met an old lady. She was very friendly. She said, oh, you're from China. My son is working there. His name is Michael, and he is an English teacher. Do you know him? I was like, maybe, because only in Shanghai, I know 10 Michaels. And guess what? They're all English teachers. And I also met a little girl. She like, oh, China, I like China. Hello, Kitty. I was like, that's Japanese. And then she said, I also love sushi. I said, again, Japanese. After a while, she said, just to let you know, I also love Kung Fu Panda. I was like, sweetheart, you don't need to try so hard. It's okay. I also met a middle-aged guy there, and he said, China, it is a country, right? I was like, wow, you're so knowledgeable. Then he said, I mean, I know China, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Singapore. I was like, sir, do you know which is the capital city of China? He said, definitely not Hong Kong. Is it Shanghai? He said, wait, I know, Bangkok. In the USA, it's hard for people to tell my age. My real age could be from 18 to 55. Yeah. In the Chinese society, I feel I'm getting old, you know. And have you ever considered how to avoid of getting old? I got one solution: die young. In China, there is a Chinese term called 剩女, which means leftover women. You know, women after 25 single, you're left over. You know, from 25 to 28, junior left over. Above 28, senior left over. So, so for a long time, I was a senior left over in China, and but my parents are very good at adjusting their expectation for me according to my age. Before 25, my parents wished me to find a decent Chinese guy to get married. After 25, my parents wished me to find a Chinese guy. After 28, my parents wished me to find a guy, you know, Chinese man, foreign man, doesn't matter, you know. After 30, my parents wish me to find a person. Men, women, doesn't matter. Just find someone. I realized how open-minded my Chinese parents are actually depend on two factors. One is how old I am. Second is how single I am. And back in China, actually, stand-up comedy is relatively new. So people know Leslie Noit, and I'm the first generation do stand-up comedy in English. So sometimes I do open mic in a bar, and people will say, "Hey, Sarah, I like your talk." The other Sarah, like speech. The most funny one is a Chinese girl seriously asked me, said, "Excuse me, is this English corner?" Like your English has a Chinese accent. And I actually when I remember first time I got a showcase, it was in Shanghai. I was very excited. I called my dad. I said, "Dad, from now on, you can also call me comedian." And I don't know why. For my dad, when he heard comedian, what he really heard is unemployment. So he said, "What? You quit your job?" I was like, "No, Dad, not yet. I'm not that famous yet." Then my dad said, "Famous? The whole China, 1.3 billion people. You give me one name who are doing stand-up comedy in English and famous. You just give me one name." So I said, "Sarah Pong." Then my dad said, "Who the hell is Sarah Pong?" "Are you sure she's even Chinese?" I was like, "I'm sure she's Chinese. Her dad is Chinese. Her mom is Chinese. She was 100% made in China. She likes drinking hot water, and she can eat rice 3 times per day." And then my dad said, "If anyone from our family had to be a comedian, I hate to say this, but it has to be your sister, not you." Let me explain. At home, my dad gave me a Chinese name called Hui Juan. Hui means smart, Juan means beautiful. So I'm smart and beautiful. And I have a younger sister. My parents call her which means 2, number 2. You know, can you imagine? They introduce us like, this is our first daughter, smart and beautiful, and this is our second daughter, 2. And actually, I have 4 degrees, 2 master, 2 bachelors. But my parents still push me, you know, ask me like, "So when do you start to plan to do your first PhD?" My sister too, only 1 degree. But my parents always proudly said, "You know, choose academic performance has already beyond their expectation." So sometimes I thought maybe my sister too was adopted. And until recently, my mom told me, "We just bought a house for your sister too. In order to make your sister be more attractive in the dating market." I was like, "Mom, I'm the older one." Then my mom said, "Yes, we know, but you are the smart and beautiful one. We trust you." I was like, "Me?" Then my mom said, "And we don't want to insult your intelligence by buying you a house." I was like, "Mom, you can insult me as much as you want." And when I was in the US, I observed one culture difference. American, they like to say, "I love you." back in China, at least in my family, my dad never said I love you to my mom, you know. But you know, my dad gives all his money to my mom. I'm assure you, my mom can feel a lot of love. Americans, they say I love you all the time, but they don't even pay for each other's dinner. You know? But I do think directly express your love is good. So when I was student in the US, once I called my mom at the end of the conversation. I said, Mom, there is one last thing I would like to tell you. I love you. After a short silence, my mom nervously said, what happened? I was like, nothing happened. I just want to say I love you. Then my mom said, seriously, what happened? And how much money do you need? I was like, I don't need your money. At least at this time, you know. I just want to say I love you. Then my mom said, oh my God, are you pregnant? You're studying law school. I cannot believe you're ruining your future like this. Eventually, I have to ask my mom to send me $1,000 to prove that I'm not pregnant. My cousin heard this story. Now, whenever he needs some money, he always started, Dad, I love you. And then recently his dad said, son, could you please stop loving me? Because your love is so damn expensive. And then recently your mom loves me very frequently. Maybe you can love me once per year, but definitely not every single day. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you, guys.
Oh, give it up for Sarah Pan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us.
Awesome.
Yay! Ah, what a good night. And that concludes our show for this month. Thank you very much for those of you who just joined our show. Thank you very much for watching our show. And remember, we will be back next month with a whole new lineup. Thank you very much for our open micers, our openers, and also our headliners, Alex and Sarah. All right. My name is Reggie. I'm your host. And on behalf of Comedy in English, Comeng, again, thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you again next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We have
Oh, yeah. Okay.
we have